Oh my God, today is a stressful day. So I am currently preparing for Rob Ferretti's YouTube Project Card Challenge, but there's only one problem. 240SX could do it, but there's two things wrong with it. One, both the wheel bearings in the back went out and the fronts might have. So I ordered those from Injuku and they were about it. They sent me them and within a day, I got them. However, some other car parts, I'm literally standing in front of my window waiting for the UPS truck. The car is being shipped out tomorrow and I am stressing my eyeballs out. As we established in the car review of the 240SX with the 2JZ in it, it faced one epic problem. I'm just gonna pace for a little bit, just don't mind me. The problem was with the 240SX during the review is that once it got to thinner air or hotter air, the whole car would overheat and crawl near the H. The same thing happened going to Import Alliance in Nashville as soon as I got to the mountains. So the last thing I want to deal with is essentially an overheating car driven by a professional race car driver in the middle of the desert. I get so hopeful, I keep thinking it's the UPS truck. Please? You ever seen that movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World where he orders something from Ramona, his crush, right? From Amazon, ironically. And he just sits in front of the door waiting for the package. That's how I feel right now. Really antsy, because I can't wait to fix the wheel bearings in the back. They made this terrible crunchy sound and a squeaking sound on the other side. PS right now says the worst thing you could ever read is out for delivery, which means we don't know when it's gonna get to your house, but you know, it'll get there. But I can at least change the wheel bearings out, and if I go to the shop, they can do it much faster than I can for the time crunch. Hopefully, at least we'll get to the shop, put the wheel bearings on, and see how it goes. Also, I ordered a turbo blanket, which also hasn't shown up yet. So I'm going out to Vegas for this, flying back, seeing a brand new concert with my lady, if you know what I'm saying. And then after that, flying right back to Vegas for SEMA, and I'm gonna host the engine building contest. So I'm gonna be doing all of this, and my 240 will be in Vegas, so now I just gotta get it there. So the 240 is still running pretty fantastic overall, aside from the heat issue sometimes. At this elevation and this heat, it's pretty much okay until you really start beating on it. And the turbo is so tiny with this is that that's what causes the heat, because at 3,000 RPM, 3,300 RPM, that's when you're hitting full boost. So it's creating all that heat under the engine bay. Thankfully though, a friend of mine named Josh actually gave this to me as a gift because it was on his S2000 with a big turbo on it. And he was like, it's kind of a good memory to have and I wanted you to have it. And he wanted me to put this on the shelves in the back of my weekly showroom. But Josh, I'm gonna borrow this, okay? Hopefully it fits. Let me explain to you the problem we're having. It's very, very easy to understand. 2J. So out here, hot side of the turbo, that is creating a ton of heat naturally. Thankfully, we're not seeing any hot spots on the hood quite yet. And a part of me is just like, cut a hole in the hood to cool it down. I'm like, no, don't, it's so pretty. So this is creating a lot of heat due to the RPM. This is the main problem though. This radiator does a hell of a job. I'm telling you, it's great, but it's our clearance that is causing even more heat. There's nowhere for it to breathe or escape. So what we're gonna do using the tucked radiator is use the core support. And go into here, it's very common to do. I'm no genius here. It's very common to do. You put it into here, that way there's more air for this to kind of breathe around. That is the goal, and we're gonna replace these Mishimoto fans with different fans as well. I'm gonna have a snack before we go. Oh, let's go. Nice bit of horsepower and torque on these Frosted Flakes, pretty great. They're no slouch, man, no slouch. Okay, so I just decided to stop waiting for UPS. I'd waited since 7 in the morning, then got here, because Alan's gonna save the day. You leave me hang? Okay, so we're basically gonna do the wheel hubs. So we're gonna attempt to do the radiator stuff, but that's because Alejandra literally got home from work as soon as I pulled out of the neighborhood and the UPS truck showed up as soon as I got on the highway. So Alejandra is now on the way with the other car parts, and hopefully we can make it for tomorrow because the shipping company still doesn't have a designated time for me. I gotta figure that out. So thanks to Josh's generosity, the turbo blanket fit on the turbo. So that is one more thing off our head. Are you stressed? No, just hope we can make it.
Boy!
Under the gun again, huh? Every day.
This is always accidental though. It's never like, hey, I want to see you work on a car for like this long straight.
Every time with your car, it's always under the gun.
It's not intentional. To be fair, I ordered all these parts in like mid-September. So I was trying, all right? Trying. You know what I realized? When you put a turbo blanket on a turbo, it makes the turbo look much bigger.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, look at that thing. It's so, oh, it's a 3071.
That thing's been not done for like 3 years.
Wait, what kind of car is it?
Evo.
If all else fails, we have water wetter. See how the old girl's doing. What do you think, boy?
Looks good.
Oh, you're listening to Slipknot. You're so hard.
Yes,
Where's your mask, bro? All right, we good. Thank you, Njuku, for warranting these. You're amazing. Now, ISR. So, quick recap. It's this back one. So if you're on jacks and stuff, it's not too difficult to get it, but it's definitely easier with a lift, obviously. I think there's only, what, a few more?
There's 4 bolts.
4 bolts.
And the center CD. You gotta take off the caliper and rotor.
My dad's first car, side note, was a $300 Ford Maverick that had a broken spindle. And he went to the mechanic and he was like, what's a spindle? Look at them 500, still looking so good.
Shout out Fortunato.
Fortunato is about that life.
Well, the hub bearing is moving all irregular, cause the uneven or premature wear on the pad itself.
Say hi, Matt.
Hey!
So as Matt works on a Prius behind us, pimping it out.
The one video he does where I'm in it, I'm working on a Prius.
I know, when you built like crazy RX-7s and everything else, you're like, Prius power.
Yep.
Yeah. And I saw that in Hawaii, actually. Somebody bagged a Prius.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. Had to go get brake pads, as we demonstrated earlier. But the problem was there was a train in the way. We nicknamed Thomas, because Thomas' the tank engine's always in the way. So I ran to the Advanced Auto Parts, because we're at a time crunch. Got the brake pads, ran back. She was sitting there behind the train with this stuff. So we were all set, all the parts. We just had to wait for the train to get out of the way. And now we're back in here. We got the water neck, the radiator, the fans, and everything is good now. And the hubs. Oh. Yeah, so these Permacool fans basically like embedded into the shroud. It's really cool. And here's the water neck. Look at that. It's really nice. So tell me about your high knowledge of radiators.
They radiate.
You're not wrong.
I made a boomerang.
What do you make? Like popping it out. Okay, so this is what you're left with. Alan did all this as I was going on my cross-country journey. Would you like to demonstrate how bad the hub was? It barely turned. It just stops.
You can hear it inside though.
Yeah, so when I was driving around, it made this loud vibration noise and like definitely something wrong back there.
Why? Me working out of school.
It's a dinosaur. Everything else looks good though, so we're in business. What do you think, Charles?
Nice and shiny.
Nice and shiny. Earlier you rode the train. Quite literally. As it was finally leaving, he flicked it off and then jumped on board.
It's been a lifetime goal.
Look at that shiny new hub. Hey, you guys remember this car? Yeah, me neither. So, Drift Missile, just a quick update. I'm not gonna do a full video, obviously. You okay? Yeah, it's really annoying. So the reason we haven't done anything with it is if you missed the last video, it's because the 1J in it broke and I ended up giving that 1J to Alan as, you know, a gift because his S14 wasn't working. And I was like, Alan, just take this motor and rebuild it because he can do that in like a day. So I was like, I'll do something crazier. So I'm doing a swap that's been done only a few times. So I'm in the research stage of this swap and it's a lot of research and it's hard to make it fit. And that's all I'm gonna say. So basically I'm getting a little bit of help and a little bit of guidance from other mechanics around the country and It's just gonna be a time consuming car, but I'm still so excited for it, and it's gonna be awesome, I promise. But don't think it's not because I don't want to drift. I'm dying to start drifting, but the problem is, you know, I just would rather take my time and build a car that would stay together rather than buying another cheap car. Even if I hit a wall, it'll be okay, because the Street Faction hooked me up with some great bash bars and some other cool stuff. So it's gonna be great, I promise, and we'll end it on that note. So for reference, there's your progress. Nothing yet. Okay. Hub's done.
Yeah, buddy.
Of course they come out with a polyurethane kit like 6 months later.
Alright, over here.
Over and on. Alright, alright. This right here is your grade A interfooler. Ever tell you that story? I was tuning the ProCharger, data logging it, right? And I was sending tunes back to ProCharger. So I'd go out on my main road in Virginia and just go and just send them a data log. And the last data log of the day, they said, hey, we've done this all day. Like, we'll do one more and then we're good. And so I do one more pull and the coupler comes off the throttle body. And I thought I blew my motor up because my gauges lit up like a Christmas tree. And ever since then I'm like T-clamp, as tight as, you know, as tight as can be.
God damn it!
Yo, we got like 13 screens in the back of this 240SX on this Bit My Ride, and then we're gonna have to sell them all because MTV's told us so. Look at that turbo. It actually looks pretty small, and that's because you're right. It still makes power, so
Yeah.
that's the important part.
So we made 700 on the E85, didn't you?
It probably would happen, but my R154 would not happen. Like we said before earlier today when I was having my little stress fit waiting for my car parts, is that this essentially is gonna be pulled out, and then we're putting the other one inside the core support, so there's gonna be more room in here. As you can see, already a lot more space. I mean, that alone right there was probably creating so much heat of not being able to come out. So as a comparison, this was the Spall fan that was kind of saving my car at the time. At the front, doing all the work, really. It was doing pretty much all of it. In the front, these are the older fans, which in comparison, if you go over here, these are way more beefy. In order to make the Radiator fit in the S13, you have to cut into the core support, and that's what Alan is doing right now. Woo! For 80 cents a day, you can give this piece of blue a home. So in the end, we made it. The next night, we ended up getting the 240SX on the truck and out to Las Vegas. It's actually been spotted a few times by you guys too, which I find really cool. You guys still see it on the road, definitely post some more pictures of it. But we got the tucked radiator in, it looks fantastic. Alan and the guys at Evolve Tuning absolutely killed it on this time crunch. We really worked hard to get it there, and it's really awesome that it's going to make it to the challenge. Now, when it comes to how I'm gonna perform in the challenge, I'm really not too worried about placing. I just want my car to get through. I think I'll do pretty solid. If we do any kind of roll racing, that's when I'll be good against probably Ferris, Fox Body, and maybe even Rob's Vet. I think me and Rob's Vet would be really close. But other than that, Dom's RX-7, if it's actually working, yeah, it'll kick all our asses in a roll race. But when it comes to the actual track driving, I really don't know who's gonna come out on top. I'm really excited to see that. I'm more worried about my transmission overheating when Justin Bell drives it than my engine, actually. I'm actually pretty confident in the engine and the cooling system, so I think that will work out in the end. If anything, if something breaks, I hope it's the transmission. I have a really beefy clutch as well, so that's what I'm going for. Tommy FVI's car is gonna be super reliable, and I know that as a fact after driving it myself. It was absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited to see how it does against that as well. So if you guys would like to come out, you all are welcome to spectate. It's free to spectate. So come out to Dream Racing in Las Vegas. I can't wait to see all of you guys there. And if you would like to race yourself, you can get a discount code and really knock it out of the park and try and get your best lap time in those vehicles. Other than that, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in Las Vegas. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.